Hello, Deborah. How are you doing?
Hi, Mike. I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm very excited to be doing the Customer Success from the Ground Up podcast with you, Deborah.
Yeah, me too. Our first podcast, not only together, but our first podcast as individuals.
Yeah, it's our first foray into this way of communicating with people, and very excited to be a part of it. Thank you very much, for everyone who's joined to listen to us today. We have an awesome range of interviews with CEOs, early stage customer success hires, and people involved in anything around customer success from the ground up. But before we jump into those, we thought we would flip the script a bit and I think we're going to interview each other, aren't we, Deborah?
Yeah, we're going to put ourselves in the hot seat. Not sure if I'm looking forward to that, to be honest. I'm quite looking forward to questioning you. Not sure if I'm looking forward to you questioning me.
I know. I feel similar. Don't feel like I've done a outside of jobs an interview around customer success very much before. So it's going to
We'll
be
score each other out of 10 later.
yeah, exactly. We'll start easy on each other, right? Like we do with our interview guests. We'll do some icebreakers and stuff, but just to give you a quick indication about me and who I am. So I've been in customer success for the last 10 years at Adobe and more recently at WalkMe, and in different roles in the customer success world. Very much corporate and scale up sort of background. And how about yourself, Deborah?
Yeah, I'm Deborah Knight. I've been working in customer success for quite a while now, over 10 years. I have worked in fast growth, scale up businesses from just starting with, only a support function existing right through to owning things like customer journeys and customer marketing and things like that, as well as customer success. So now, more recently, I've founded CaptivCX, which is a customer success consulting and coaching business helping CS leaders deliver their CS strategies.
Yeah, awesome. Ironically, me and Deborah started this customer success from the ground up podcast. I don't have as much from the ground up experience, but thankfully, my awesome co-host Deborah does. And
You
all the
are going to be our litmus test to see if actually anybody's getting anything useful from these podcasts, because you'll be able to tell us that you learned something new. And I think it's really interesting because I think quite a lot of experienced yes leaders do go into earlier stage businesses and find it quite a different environment to what they're used to, and with lots of different types of challenges. But also, I think that customer success restarts itself multiple times through its maturity stages. So I know that you've got tons of experience you're going to bring to the podcast, Mike. And that's the only
I
time I'm being nice to you.
yeah, that's it. That's the last time I'm sure.
Yeah.
So great stuff. Like as I said, very excited to be a part of it, and I think we're gonna kick off with you interviewing me. I think
Yeah, I'm going to
you'll
grill
go
you. Are
first.
you ready?
Yeah, I'm going to try. I'm going to strap myself in and be nice
Here we
and
go.
go.
So, with each of our guests, the plan is we'll ease them in with a gentle icebreaker before we sort of go into the really tough questions. So, and what that is for you, Mike, is if you weren't in customer success, what would you be doing instead?
Well, if you asked a sort of 15-year-old me, I would have said a skateboarder, but I definitely wasn't good enough to be doing that for a job. I think I would probably be, I think in reality, I'd probably be some form of business owner or maybe an
No,
entrepreneur or
let's talk
whatever.
more about the skateboarding. Like, do you still skateboard now? That's what I want to know.
No. I've gone full middle age. I do
You
triathlon
rate
now.
caps
So
backwards and things like that.
I spent about 10, 15 years and met a lot of my close friends through skateboarding. I just got really into it when I was younger. Aside from taking my kids to the skate park, sometimes I don't want to, and rolling around, I don't want to break my wrists. Because if I
Yeah.
break my wrists and I couldn't swim and do my middle-aged triathlon pursuits, so that wouldn't work. So I have to stick to endurance sport at the moment. So yeah, that my time in this on the tarmac has gone in terms of skating.
So you didn't become a skateboarding pro, and instead you went
No.
into CS. So
Uh,
let's talk a bit more about that then. So how long have you actually been doing it for, and how did you first get into CS?
so I did. I had a fairly I'm going to say, fairly typical entry from a sort of sales world into customer success. That happened quite a bit, I would say. I worked at Rosetta Stones in sales for a few years. Worked in an events company. Then I did join Adobe Sign, which is their kind of e-signature DocuSign type of product. I was in sales there for a few years. I moved from sales into customer success back in 2015, I think. So it's been 10 years now. And then did a couple of years enterprise customer success, then 4 years leadership at Adobe Sign, and then I moved to WalkMe. Had a year as a senior individual CSM, and then became a manager for 2.5 years, and I've done global program management in sort of post-sale for the last year or so. So fairly varied roles as an IC and as a manager in corporate scale-up.
And sort of, was there a light bulb moment for you where you were just like, oh, actually, yes, this is my thing?
Yeah, I think so. I got a bit disillusioned with sales and wasn't. I didn't feel like it was a good fit for me. I think I even went to like one of these career counsellors, expensive career counsellor, gave him all my details and said, "What do you think I should do?" And he was like, "Sales." I was like, "Exactly what I'm here to move out of sales." Anyway, eventually, what became my manager and a good friend of mine now, Tom, he said, "Do you want to try customer success?" And I was always trying to create like a really good solution for customers in sales, but I maybe wasn't doing some other things I could have been doing more effectively. And customer success just felt like home to me. I was much more successful and felt like a really good fit for me and the way that I am and my my personality and skills, I suppose. So yeah, I've loved it ever since.
I think that's really interesting about customer success is that it's a brilliant role to bring people from different functions into. I've had CSMs that have come from product or started in CS and gone into product or marketing and vice versa, and definitely sales as well. Such a mix of skills that you need. So it's really, there is a wide pool of people that you can access as a CS leader. What's shaped your view of what great customer success looks like?
I suppose for me, kind of really understanding about more about value realization. Obviously, that's why we do this. But in some companies where it's a super need to have, like Salesforce, CRM, maybe it's different to where you're having to resell and prove value all the time. And I feel like my kind of experience certainly the last 4 years has really taught me the importance of that, and that I feel like is what can set you apart as a CSM. So getting really good at how do customers realize, understand, agree, validate the value they're receiving will have an impact on churn, retention, your ability to be successful, and your customers, of course, to be successful with their investment in your product. So that's probably
Yeah, and I think a lot of people sort of have this resistance to the idea of being salesy, but there's a difference between being salesy and being commercial. And I think what you're talking about there is really connecting that commercial acumen to value realization and being able to speak that sort of commercial language. It's not sales; it is just understanding and delivering value, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And certainly, it's a tough economy now, and I feel like the better the better you are at doing that, I think is the more successful you're going to be. Customers are having to justify costs all the time. There's lots of reductions in force in the tech industry, so it's ever more important, I think, to be good at value realization. Is my feeling. So
Yeah, definitely. So, what's one common misconception that you think exists, and how would you change that misconception?
about customer success, I
Or
think.
about skateboarding?
Oh, I could do skateboarding, but I'll go with customer success. I think probably that CSMs, let's say a misconception could be from customers, or it could be from certain sales teams and stuff. That customer success is all about kind of customer support and just problem solving. But I feel like really effective CSMs are much more than that. They're strategic business advisors more than anything. It's the best CSMs, in my opinion, are the ones that really understand their customers' business, their objectives, the problems they're trying to resolve, and they providing a technology to help them resolve those problems and understand and realize the impact that resolution has had. I feel like that is the really strategic customer success piece that really sets people apart. And so rather than saying I like solving problems or I like supporting customers, like CSMs should be a lot more than that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I think that's
It's
a bit of a
that
misconception.
forward-looking view and the proactiveness around it.
Yeah.
So one
So,
last question for you then.
okay.
What made you decide to do this podcast?
Good question. So I started a customer success leadership unlocked community. I've got 100 CS leaders. That's how we met, Deborah,
Yeah.
back in March 24. So I suppose through that and through having a bigger network and people would approach me who've been in maybe corporate customer success roles or managers even, and are now trying the startup world and sort of doing customer success as an early stage CSM or CSI. And it's quite a scary place to be, I think, where you're like, I've had this big support structure around me in my previous role, and I was effective, but now I don't have any of that, and I've got a I've got a CEO or a founder saying, where do we start? I think that is quite a nervy place to be, and I don't think there's a lot of guidance, in my opinion, around that. And so lots of people would approach me and ask me questions. Where do you think I should start, Mike? And that just made me think, maybe we should sort of help guide people a bit more, and a podcast format felt like a great place to do it. So
Great. Well, I think you did well. I'll give you a 6.5 out of 10 for that interview.
that's particularly nice from you, Deborah. That's a lot of praise. She's
Now
tough
it's your
cookie.
turn. You get to.
You're much better interviewing than me. You'll find our listeners will find that Deborah does does a lot of the interviewing because asks really good questions. So. Well, yeah, let's do a similar icebreaker start for you, Deborah, to keep it nice, and then we'll move on to the rest of it. So, if you weren't an amazing award, I don't know if she's won an awards, but I'm going to say award-winning customer success
There's one or
leader,
two in there, I'm sure.
consultant, and general legend in this industry, what would you be doing if you weren't doing this?
Well, it's a great question because just at the weekend I was watching TV with my daughter who's 6 and we were watching a travel program about Japan. It's also, if you're in the UK, it's the time of year where Race Across the World is on, which is another travel program which I'm obsessed by. So basically, I would like to be someone that travels around the world, has lots of holidays and gets paid to do that. That's what I'd like to do if I wasn't doing CS.
That sounds awesome. And what would be? Oh, so you saw one about Japan, but that's definitely on my bucket list. But if you had do you have a bucket list of places you haven't been that you'd like to go to?
All of them.
Everywhere.
I think I'd love to go a bit more to South America and Patagonia and see those the glaciers down there and stuff. Yeah. That'd
Oh,
be on my
cool.
list.
Very nice. That sounds great. Cool. Okay. Well, let's understand bit more about your journey, if that's all right.
Yeah.
And we can give the listeners a bit more of an idea about it. So, um, can you give us a bit more detail about how you got into customer success and how it progressed for you, Deborah?
So I actually started my career not in tech at all, and I was working in the drinks industry. I worked for the likes of Carlsberg and Magners, and I was a customer account manager. I also did some customer marketing work as well, working with like massive brands, like selling into people like Tesco and Asda and Sainsbury's, things like that. I loved that industry. I was in that industry for about 10 years, and I learned a lot about customer management, about things like commercial agreements, and brand marketing, and how you bring thought leadership and branding into those value proposition conversations and things. I moved across to financial services, where I led a cross-selling campaign management team. So that was more direct to consumer, looking at our book of end users and how we were driving cross-sales with them. And then I transferred from there into a startup, Perkbox, which was an employee engagement business. At the time, it was quite small. We did some customer loyalty programs too. It was about 5 million, and over the 4 years that I was there, we scaled through to about 28 million. We went from single product, single market to multi-product global market offering. So massive steep learning curve, huge change across the customer success team, and a really fun journey as well. I then moved to health tech, where I worked for Doctify as Chief Customer Officer, which is a healthcare review platform. And that was very much around very early stage. We didn't really have customer success. We were very reactive. We were quite just mainly support. So it was about creating that customer journey, establishing the function. We were global, so I had to introduce customer success into multiple markets. Very different markets. We were in Australia or Dubai, like Germany, like completely different markets, and how we deliver customer success in those markets. So brilliant time there as well. And then I set up Kaptiv, which is a consulting and coaching business for CS leaders who need support with their either their careers or their CS strategy.
Great stuff. A very, 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 very varied career, I think, in customer success. And I'm glad our paths crossed, Deborah, last March, so we could do this podcast and hopefully help other people with some of our experience. So, what do you think? What do you love most about sort of customer success, and what keeps you motivated?
My experience of customer success, particularly in those sort of earlier stage companies and the scaling companies, is it's constantly changing. Okay, there's lots to constantly think about. It's evolving. Even now, it's evolving. With how we use AI, with how we might change to usage models and things like that. So I think that I just love a challenge, and I love problems to think about, not just for our customers but for our business, about how we're going to make that a more efficient way of working, how can we deliver more to our clients as working with the product team and things like that. So I just love how many different things customer success touches.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think there's a lot of things to understand about it, and I think it's not an entry-level role. People come with a lot of different experience, and which is they can bring to the fore with their customers to get them value. And I feel like those different experiences that people bring means that you can, like you say, it can be ever evolving and and ever changing. So that's very true. What if you could? So, what has sort of shaped your view of what great customer success means? And in general, what do you feel like is the sort of, for you, what is a really effective customer success experience for a customer, sort of thing?
I just when I was at Perkbox, we spent a lot of time talking about the power of nudge, and I love that theory and that psychology, because customer success is a people business. It's about how do we get people to do things that we want them to do? How do we get people to put effort in and understand the reward that they're going to get from that? So that sort of idea of human psychology and applying that to how we think about our customers or our end users is something that I really enjoy thinking about for customer success.
Yeah, no, that's I've got that from you actually. In terms of all our interactions, I feel like you do sort of understand that very much so. So great. Well, I hope that was useful for our listeners to kind of understand a bit more about us. Obviously, we'll, as I said earlier, we'll be bringing lots of different guests on over the coming episodes for you to learn from. So if you are a CEO that's thinking about investing in customer success, or you're an early stage CSM hire, I feel this could be useful in terms of understanding how people have gone about doing this, learning from their direct experience, and hopefully we'll have some fun along the way. We'll try and keep our episodes light and
I
relaxed.
think customer success is quite a heavy topic, isn't it? So we just want to enjoy ourselves as well, and we're a people business as well, and lots of people that enjoy just talking and interacting, so we'll be bringing out that fun element for our guests as well.
Yeah, very much so. We know you're probably listening to this perhaps on an AirPods, on a commute, or walking along, or exercising, whatever it might be. So we'll try and make it as enjoyable as possible, also hopefully educational, and give you some direction. So really looking forward to the coming episodes, and let's stay tuned, and more will be coming soon. Thank you very much for your time. And we'll see you on the next episode.
See you on the next episode.